In this video, I will discuss some Newton laws of motion problems from previous year question papers of IIT JEE. This is the first question. A block of mass m is placed on a horizontal frictionless plane. A second block of same mass m is placed on it and is connected to a spring of spring constant k. The two blocks are pulled by a distance a. Block q oscillates without slipping. What is the maximum value of friction force between the two blocks? So these are the two blocks P and Q. There is no friction between the block P and the bottom horizontal surface. There is friction between block P and Q, and the coefficient of static friction is mu s. And this friction force is sufficient enough to keep these two blocks together. So this whole thing is pulled by a distance a to the right and is left to oscillate. We have to find the maximum value of the friction force between the blocks P and Q. So this is a free body diagram of the blocks. The block Q, which is on the top, the weight of the block is mg, and there is a normal reaction between the contact surface of block P and Q, and the spring is attached to the block Q. So when the block Q is moved to the right, the spring will try to pull this block Q towards left, and the friction force, let the direction be towards the right. The direction of the friction force will become more clear when we analyze the free body diagram with the block P. This is the free body diagram with block P. The force acting on is the weight mg, and there is a normal reaction N1 say between the block P and the horizontal surface, and normal reaction N is the normal reaction between the blocks P and Q. The block P is accelerating towards this equilibrium position, so there has to be a net force acting towards left on this block P, and the only force that can act on the block P is the friction force between the blocks P and Q. So the direction of friction force should be towards left, and since the direction of the friction force is towards left on the block P, the direction of friction force on the block Q should be towards right. We can consider the blocks P and Q as one single system. So the forces acting on this system are the weight 2 mg. Each block has got mass m, and there is a normal reaction N1 between this block P and the horizontal surface, and the spring is trying to pull this system towards the left by a force kx. So writing the balance equation, force balance equation of this full system, we get kx equal to 2ma. A is acceleration towards left, and writing the force equation for the block Q, we get the force which is acting on the towards left is kx minus f equal to m into a. So from here we can get the value of acceleration, or ma as half kx. So from this we can take the f on the right side. So this becomes kx minus ma, and ma is half kx. So from this we get the friction force as half kx, where x is the extension of the spring. So the maximum extension of the spring is the amplitude of the oscillation, that is capital A. So the friction force will be maximum, the x is maximum, and the maximum value of the friction force is half k into A. So the correct option is option A. This is the next question. A system shown in the figure is in equilibrium and at rest. The spring and string are massless. Now the string is cut. The acceleration of mass 2m and m just after the string is cut will be. So the two masses 2m and m, they are connected by a string, and there is a spring connecting this mass 2m with a fixed support. So initially there is a condition, and after that the string connecting the two blocks are cut, and just after the string is cut, the blocks will start moving, and we have to find the acceleration just after the string is being cut. So this is the initial situation where the string is intact, and let the tension of the string be T. So the forces acting on the blocks 2m and m are shown here. The force acting on the mass 2m is its weight 2 mg, and the spring which is connecting it to the fixed support, this one. So that will exert a force of kx, where x is the extension of the spring from its natural length, and the tension of the string will pull it down. The force acting on this mass m, small mass m, this one, are the tension which is pulling it up, and the weight mg. So from this you can write the force equation. The upward force kx equal to the downward force T plus 2 mg, and here from this we get T as mg. So combining this we get Kx as 3 mg. So we get the value of how much the extension should be. The final situation, the string is being cut. Once the string is cut, this tension force will disappear. So now the force acting on the small mass is only the weight, which is mg, and because of it, it's accelerating down, so then acceleration say a1. And this mass 2m will, since this mass is disappearing, there will be a net force acting upwards, so it will accelerate upwards. Let the acceleration be a2. The extension of the spring will not change drastically. That is the property of the string. It acts like a cushion, so the length of the string will not change drastically. So just after cutting, the extension will remain the previous value. So still the spring force will be Kx, and the weight which is pulling it down is 2 mg. So writing the equation of this one, we get mg equal to ma1. From there we get the acceleration of mass m as g downwards. For the mass 2m, the upward force is Kx minus 2 mg, the net upward force. That will be equal to the mass into the acceleration upward, that is 2m into a2. And Kx has been found as 3 mg, that is from the condition before it's being cut. So using that value of Kx, we get a2 as g by 2 upward direction. So the 2m will move upward with an acceleration g by 2, and this mass m will fall downward as if it's falling freely due to gravity with an acceleration of g downwards. So the correct option is option A. This is the next question. Two particles of mass m each are tied at the ends of a light string of length 2a. The whole system is kept on a frictionless horizontal floor with the string held tight so that each mass it has a distance a from the center P as shown in the figure. This is center P and two masses at a distance a from the center. Now the midpoint of the string is pulled vertically upwards with a small but constant force F. As a result, the particles will move towards each other on the surface. The magnitude of acceleration when the separation between the two particles is 2x. So initially the two masses are separated by a distance 2a on a horizontal surface, and there is a string connecting them. The midpoint of the string is being pulled upwards with a constant force F. So once it is being pulled, the distance between the two masses will decrease, and when the distance becomes 2x, what will be the acceleration of the masses? So this is a situation which shows the forces acting on the masses. Since the mass is resting on a horizontal surface, the weight will be acting downwards and the normal reaction will be upwards, and the tension in the string will be in this direction. Similarly for this mass on the right side. And at this point, the force F is acting upwards and the tension in the two strings will be in this direction. Let the angle be theta when the distance of separation will be 2x. So writing the force balance, at this point we get F as 2t sine theta. The angle theta here is same as this angle theta. So the component of t, which is vertically downwards, is t sine theta. And there is one more t sine theta from here, so F should balance 2t sine theta. Getting the force balance of this mass m in the horizontal direction, we get t cos theta. That is the only force acting in the horizontal direction, that just should be equal to m into a. From this we can get the tension as F divided by 2 sine theta. So using that thing for t here, we get this equal to m into a. So from that we get ma as F by 2 tan theta. And this distance is the initial length of the string, that is a, and tan theta is opposite, that is square root of a square minus x square divided by adjacent side, that's x. That will be tan theta. Here is 1 by tan theta, so it's x divided by square root of a square minus x square. So from this we get the acceleration a as F by 2m into x divided by square root of a square minus x square. So the correct option is option B. This is the next question. A piece of wire is bent in shape of a parabola y equal to k square. Y-axis is vertical with the bead of mass m on it. The bead can slide on the wire without friction. It stays at the lowest point of the parabola when the wire is at rest. The wire is now accelerated parallel to the x-axis with constant acceleration a. The distance of new equilibrium position of the bead, where the bead can stay at rest with respect to the wire from y-axis is. So this is the wire bent in shape of a parabola y equal to kx square. So initially when the wire is at rest, the bead will be at the bottommost position because of the gravity pull, and once it starts accelerating towards the right, there will be a pseudo force acting on this bead. So because of that, the bead will move up and reach this new equilibrium position. The forces acting on the bead are the weight mg and the normal reaction because of the contact between the wire and the bead, which will be normal to this wire, and there is a pseudo force towards left because acceleration is towards right. The pseudo force will be in the direction opposite to the acceleration, so it's towards left me. So these three forces will act on this bead, and since the bead is at rest, these three forces are in balance. The equation of parabola is y equal to kx square. By differentiating, we get dy by dx as 2kx, and dy by dx of a curve is the slope of the tangent to the curve. And since this normal reaction is balancing the other two forces, the x component of normal reaction should balance with the x component of these two, that is just ma, and the y component of normal reaction should balance the y component of these two, that is mg. So from this we get the slope of this direction as ny by nx, which is equal to g by a, and this direction of this normal force is same as the direction normal to this curve, and we know the slope of the tangent to this curve. So the slope of normal to the curve is negative reciprocal, so that is minus 1 by 2kx. So that should be equal to g by a. So from this we get the value of x as minus a by 2 kg. So the distance is a by 2 kg from the y-axis on the left side. So the correct option is option B. This is the next question. A block of mass m is on an inclined plane of angle theta. The coefficient of friction between the block and the plane is mu, and tan theta is greater than mu. The block is held stationary by applying the force P parallel to the plane. The direction of force is pointing up. The plane is taken as positive. As P is varied from P1 equal to this value to P2 equal to this value, the friction force versus P graph will look like. So initially this block will try to slide down because of its weight, and since this angle is greater than tan inverse mu, that is the angle of repose, the block will slide down. The friction force is not sufficient to keep this block at rest on this surface, so an additional force P upwards of the plane is required to keep this block at rest. And once we keep increasing this force, after a certain value, the block will start moving upwards. So let's consider the situation where the value of the applied force P is small. When P is small, the weight of this block will try to move it down. So friction force is required to keep it at rest, and the direction of friction force should be upwards. So both P and friction force work together to keep this block from slipping downwards. And the other force acting is a normal reaction. So the force along the direction of the inclined plane is mg sin theta equal to P plus F. Mg sin theta is downwards and the upward force is P plus F. P is small to start off, and after that the value of P is increasing. Mg and theta are constants. So as P keeps on increasing, the friction force will keep decreasing. Initially, when the value of this P is minimum, the friction force contribution should be more and it should be maximum. And after that, when P picks up, the friction force can reduce. And the maximum value of friction force will act when P is minimum. So if you put the minimum value of P as P1, the friction force will be maximum, that is equal to mu into normal reaction, and normal reaction is mg cos theta. And once P keeps on increasing, after some stage, this block will have a tendency to move up. Once the block has got the tendency to move up, the direction of friction force will reverse and will try to keep the block from moving up. So with a large value of P, the friction force is acting downwards. Now the equation will become mg sin theta equal to P minus F. the net downward force is P minus F, that is equal to mg sin theta. Now the direction of friction force is reversed. So now as P keeps increasing, if you consider this minus F as one full quantity, that will keep decreasing, but the magnitude of the friction force will keep on increasing in the downward direction to balance this increase in the P force. And when P is maximum, the friction force would attain this maximum value of mu into normal reaction. So if you put the maximum value of P, P2, the friction force will become maximum, that is mu mg cos theta. So when P is changed from small value to large value, the friction force will start decreasing from the maximum value and will keep on decreasing, and after that the friction force will reverse its direction and then will keep on increasing to a maximum value, and the variation of P and F is linear. As P increases, F also increases linearly. So the correct option is option A.